Right now, Madison construction workers injured after a 50-foot fall, what authorities are saying. Also, Madisonians participate in a ride for unity in honor of Alex Preddy following his killing by federal agents, what organizers hope the event will do. And in Belleville, Brewery Hop Garden is hosting a new event they hope will become an annual staple. We'll take you to the Winter Games. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. We're bringing you breaking news tonight. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says they have recovered a body from Fish Lake in northwest Dane County. This happened around 2:15 today. The body was located and recovered by members of the Dane County Sheriff's Office Marine and Trail Enforcement and Dive Team. An investigation into this incident will be taking place. The identity of the body recovered will be confirmed after the person's family is notified. And a construction worker is in critical condition Saturday after falling about 50 feet in downtown Madison. The fire department was dispatched to the corner of State and Fairchild Streets at around 9:30 a.m. for a construction crane that dropped a 20 to 30,000 pound beam. The worker, who was taken to the hospital, reportedly fell with the beam as it went through sublevels of the construction. Another employee was reportedly stranded with the crane above the site. No one else was injured as a result of this incident. And we'll continue to keep you updated on both these incidents as we gather more information. To keep up with the latest on these stories, you can download the Channel 3000 Plus app. Just head to your app store and get those updates straight to your phone. Following the death of Alex Preddy by ICE agents in Minnesota last week, cyclists around the country joined in today for the Unity Ride in his honor, including those in Madison. Cyclists from all over the Madison area made it to the Capitol for the Ride for Unity event. Starting at the Capitol, bikers met to begin an 8-mile route around the city with the goal of spreading awareness through kindness.
It feels really great to be part of over 100 different communities that are holding a ride today in Alex's honor. It really shows that it doesn't matter who you are, that, if you're part of our community, we're going to show up for you.
The Unity Ride is just one of the many protests against ICE that happened in Madison and nationwide since the start of the year. Today, people gathered at the Library Mall across from UW-Madison's Memorial Union to demonstrate against the Iranian regime. Right now in Iran, thousands have been arrested or killed for protesting against the current government. Organizers of the event say issues in Iran involve attacks on civilians by the government, internet blackouts, and at least 43,000 deaths. Those figures have not yet been verified by independent agencies, but previous death tolls from activist agencies on the ground in Iran amounted to over 6,000. Cities across the globe have begun to demonstrate in support of protesters in Iran.
One thing led to another, and we've seen more frequencies in terms of people protesting and coming out of the streets and demanding change.
Especially in a city like Madison, that people care about these issues. We hope that we raise some awareness about what is happening.
Organizers say the goal of today's demonstration was to not only get attention from local and federal government, but also to show solidarity to those in Iran. Now, Wisconsin is projected to have a $2.5 billion surplus at the end of the current budget. However, the state is still spending more money than it's receiving. This Sunday on For the Record, political reporter Elie Liberté sits down with the Wisconsin Policy Forum to break down what that means.
I think it might be kind of confusing for people to hear that we're spending more than we're taking in, but we have this huge surplus.
Yeah, if you just want to think about it, you can have a family. They've saved up money over time, right? Let's say they had both parents working, they were both making a good income, and they saved up money over time. But then one of them cuts back on their hours at work, and they still have savings, but all of a sudden their expenses are greater than their income.
You can watch how property taxes fit into the budget surplus this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record. Man, it feels a lot more like summer today than it has in recent weeks. Let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast. Blaze?
If we're only getting into the 20s for summer, we are going to have some problems. I want it to be in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, but I get what you're saying. Yes, these 20s today definitely felt nice, especially with that sunshine. Now we've cooled off a little bit, but still hanging out in those teens. Some of us still hugging that 20-degree mark. Monroe, Lone Rock, Viroqua, Juneau, to name a few, we're a degree or or two shy of where we were earlier today in those 20s. But Jalen, you're right on the money with this. We are warmer than yesterday. Even with those northerly winds, we're about 5 to 10, almost 15 degrees warmer than the same time yesterday. And we're going to be even warmer tomorrow than where we were today. We are going to be watching as some snow moves on in, beginning later into the evening hours as our next Clipper system moves on in. We'll touch on that in just a minute, but I do want to highlight where that Clipper system is now real quick on radar 3000. You can see that snow stretching from Winnipeg all the way down to Wichita, really hugging the northern plains. So that's one area that's seeing snow. Also earlier today, we'll take it down to Jacksonville, Florida. That's where they were also seeing, at least on the radar, some snow falling across northern parts of Florida. How much snow we could see back here in southern Wisconsin in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you then. Today, a new brewery hosted their first ever Winter Games, following in the footsteps of one of their other locations here in Wisconsin. Our Nash Dara has that story. Nash.
Hey Jalen, brave souls fought off the cold this afternoon to join in on some friendly competition outside of the Hop Garden in Belleville, which opened this past summer. The bar and brewery has been conducting the games for 8 years now, but the opening of its new doors just in half an hour south of Madison stirred the opportunity for another rendition of their take on the Winter Games. Contest consisted of a brat toss, steinhold, as well as the fan favorite keg toss. And whether you were participating or just enjoying your Saturday, the building was packed full of people enjoying the weekend.
It was really slow and we were bored in Paoli, so we came up with this event and it's been growing every year, and now we're doing it at all of our locations. It's just a lot of fun because it's the middle of winter. It's a good reason to get outside. It's been super cold the last few weeks and people are just excited to try to get outside, so the weather cooperated. It was wonderful.
And do not worry if you missed out on today. The Hop Garden will be hosting 2 more games at their other locations. Paoli's at the end of February, and their Evansville spot will have theirs in March. Jalen and I will have more on this story coming up at 10, checking out how some of the participants performed today in Belleville.
All right, sounds good, Nash. Hopefully we got to see you doing the keg toss. But the fun didn't just stop there. Pickleball lovers are getting another place to play. Pickleball Kingdom, an entirely indoor club, is opening in Sun Prairie. This location is the third to open in the state of Wisconsin, and it'll give people the opportunity to play year-round without worrying about the weather. Many showed up for the grand opening and ribbon-cutting event in Sun Prairie, bringing those in the pickleball community together for this special event.
We have had this dream of opening a pickleball indoor facility in Madison area for a couple of years. To be able to do this in Sun Prairie, where we live, is a special thing. It's so close to our heart.
Governor Tony Evers even made an appearance sharing the economic impact pickleball has had on the state, saying that communities getting involved with the sport have seen an annual income of $500,000. Pickleball Kingdom offers opportunity for pickleball players of all levels, from free beginners and their classes to memberships for the more seasoned players. And the Grammy Awards are just a day away. Kendrick Lamar leads the 2026 Grammys with 9 nominations, an encore of last year's success where he took home 5 awards. He's competing again for Record of the Year alongside Bad Bunny, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, Chappell Roan, Rosé, Bruno Mars, and others. And music critic Chris Willman says the Grammys voters are in their bases evolving.
One thing the Recording Academy has done recently is invite everyone who votes for the Latin Grammys to become a voter for the regular Grammys. And so that is going to cause a big shift, I think, in giving Latin music more of a chance.
You can watch the Grammy Awards this Sunday from 7 to 10:30 right here on CBS. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, how numbers show the flu isn't going away just yet. Plus, how another winter storm is bringing snow to places as far south as Florida. That and more after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for staying with us. New health data shows flu activity in the U.S. has ticked back up. According to an epidemiologist, Americans are seeing a second peak and rebound in the flu. Dr. Caitlin Rivers says the current pattern is similar to last year's when flu cases surged in late February after dropping. She adds this new trend is concentrated in children, but with adults next in line to likely be impacted. And the extreme winter weather also plays a role in current flu trends. Friday, the CDC echoed those findings in a report that showed influenza B is slowly increasing. Experts say even if you've already had the flu this year, it's possible to get it again if you catch another strain. However, the latest flu vaccine offers protection against both strains A and B of the virus. The Trump administration has made a selection for who it wants to be the next Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner. Brad Matsumoto currently serves as a senior economist on the Trump Council of Economic Advisors. He held the same role in the president's first term. Matsumoto previously served as a supervisory researcher at the BLS. The nomination requires confirmation from the Senate. President Trump fired the previous Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner back in August. Trump accused Dr. Erica McAminifer without proof of manipulating monthly job reports for, quote, political purposes. Around 240 million people are under winter storm warnings and cold weather advisories, with parts of the South seeing snow and blizzard conditions for the first time in years. Snow is already piling up in the Carolinas and Georgia, while deadly cold temps are being felt all up and down the East Coast. All this comes as many are still dealing with the effects of the last weekend's winter storm that's being blamed for at least 80 deaths from Texas to New England. CBS's Skylar Henry has the latest from Virginia Beach.
Say what I had to say.
Patience is running low as the temperature in Tennessee, where resident Terry Miles is one of thousands still without power since last weekend's storm.
I've been cold. This is the coldest and the worst I've ever been in my damn life.
With another round of frigid weather now hitting the South, the Nashville Electric Service can't tell Miles when his power and heat will be back.
We're having to dig our infrastructure out from under trees that's froze to the ground. It is a slow process, and it's hard for us to judge.
We built a snowman.
In Charlotte, North Carolina, 7-year-old Ivy sees a different side to the storm.
Today, it was like a miracle. I just ran out the door and jumped into the snow, making a snow angel.
Here on Virginia Beach, they expect several inches of snow here, with much more inland. Officials that we have spoken with say that they anticipate temperatures not getting above freezing for days.
There's 3 of them actually still trapped on the road right now.
Sam Griffel lives in Richmond, where she's been watching cars struggle on the icy road outside her home.
I would make eye contact with the driver and they're just looking at me like, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't know.
Farther north, these penguins at New York's Long Island Aquarium may be dressed to the nines, but they can't handle 9 degrees.
It can be too cold even for a penguin. There's a lot of penguins that never see ice in their lifetime.
The National Guard says soldiers are on duty in 15 states to help communities recover. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Virginia Beach.
And more than 2,000 flights have been canceled today, most of them in North Carolina and Georgia. And coming up after the break, how we could be seeing some snow of our own in the First Warn forecast. Let's go ahead and get a look at your First Warn forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
And we are tracking some light snow of our own as we head further into Sunday afternoon. Likely 24 hours from now, we'll begin to see that snow move on in across western parts of Wisconsin. That will continue overnight into Monday, which of course is Groundhog Day. Tonight, single digits as a high pressure system sits overhead, but it's beginning to slide its way south, making room for that incoming clipper. But as that clipper moves on in, it falls apart. So we'll start off partly sunny, become more cloudy as that center of low pressure, while weakening, gets closer to us. And note that the blue really breaks apart as it moves its way across parts of Wisconsin, and then another high pressure system moves on in, Cutting off the snow flurry activity come Monday morning, and then Tuesday we're expecting to stay not only sunny, but back into those 20s. We'll hang out in those low to mid 20s both Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but then Thursday onward, we are back to being in those upper 20s to low 30s. So closer to home, a lot of blue on future track as we're going into that 7:30 in the morning time frame, but it really does fall apart as that low pressure system tries to make its way into Wisconsin. We're now at about 4:30 in the afternoon. That snow is beginning to move its way across the Mississippi River. And as it is, the low pressure system is falling apart. There's not a lot of moisture and it's quick moving. So all of that coming together means that we're likely not going to be dealing with a lot of snow as we are waking up on Groundhog Day, but it is going to be a snowy start to the new month. So in terms of snow totals, it's going to be a light, fluffy snow, and I agree here with the light blue being the higher accumulations, probably up to an inch, but I think it is likely going to stay about an inch or less for a lot of southern Wisconsin. I think once you get to the east of, I would say, Richland County, I would not bet on anything higher than about a half an inch of snow. And again, this is going to be light and fluffy, so it is going to be pretty quick to move on off the sidewalk as we are waking up on Monday. As I mentioned, with that incoming high pressure system, as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll be back to those low to mid 20s after hanging out in the mid 20s on Sunday and then again on Monday. But the 30s return Thursday, Friday, and then again Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of that following work week if this forecast holds together. And I hope it does, because we sure could use a warm day here or there. We are going to be above average for the first time in about 20 or so days by next Thursday. But I want you to look at those numbers and notice that on those warmer than average days, it's only by about 1 to 5 degrees. Prolonged warmth and really warm temperatures compared to normal, I don't really see in the forecast. And the cooler air, it is really trying to stick around. What I can foresee happening as we go into the middle of February is we get underneath the jet stream. So we'll have cooler than average days. We'll have seasonal days, and we'll have a sprinkle here or there of warmer than average days. Prolonged warmth, I just don't see it as we kick off February. So enjoy the 30s while they're here.
I mean, compared to what we've seen recently, that looks like prolonged.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
One more time.
Prolonged warmth. Sorry, it's the Celsius I drank right before the show.
Don't blame Celsius. They're just trying to make some good drinks and be a humble company.
Yeah, but I mean, just being in the 20s today, huge difference. Like, it just felt
there was an energy.
Yeah.
I felt a renewed sense of life.
I'm with you on that one. All right, Kay, what do we have coming up in sports?
Still ahead in sports, you'll find out if losing 5 players slowed Wisconsin women's hockey down or kept them gliding on the ice. Next on News 3 Now.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
You would think after you lose 5 players to the Olympics that your team would struggle in a border battle in Minnesota, but that wasn't the case today for Wisconsin women's hockey. Right away on the power play, Cassie Hall glides one in for the Badgers to take the lead. And you would have thought the Gophers lost 5 players on their team because they were nowhere to be found as Cassie Hall steps up big again, scoring for the Badgers on the hat trick, sealing this one 6-1. After their streak was snapped, Wisconsin men's basketball picked themselves back up with a win against the Gophers, and just like Stella, they got their groove back. And they took on Ohio State, trailing in the first half until John Blackwell knocks down a 3 and then gets a steal right after to put up 2 to ignite his team. While the Buckeyes were trying to fight back in this one, it would be all Badgers as Austin Rapp steps back at the top of the key to get a 3, one of his 5 on the night. And these Badgers were showing the Buckeyes that they were the only thing getting bucked in the Kohl Center, while Nick Boyd finished it off with 3 of his 21, sealing this win 92-82. And Blackwell said this game was fueled by one thing.
I told these guys from the jump it's going to be about energy, the energy we play with. We haven't had an off day. We've been grinding these last 10 days. So we just got to play with a lot of energy and then build our own energy. And, it can start with me. It can start with these guys up here. So.
It's always encouraging to see one of your upperclassmen, one of your leaders really talking about energy and effort and those core values on how you win a game. But, I mean, dude, every game it seems like they're just raining threes. Like half our highlights of them shooting threes.
Definitely. Austin Rapp had a night for himself. He shot 7 and only made 5, but 5 is crazy. He had 19 in the first half. So it was definitely an electric game for them. So they picked themselves back up and keep it moving into these final couple games to see where they can get ranked for the conference championship.
I mean, tomorrow.
Conference tournament.
Yeah, but I mean, tomorrow's February, meaning March just around the corner.
Around the corner.
Things are starting to heat up here.
Yeah.
And speaking of heating up, a little bit warmer today. Feeling a lot better than it has been as of late, Blaze.
Yeah, and 20s tomorrow after settling into those single digits tonight. It will be quiet. We are expecting that snow to return as we go into the evening hours on Sunday, kicking off February. On the snowier side, don't expect much, though, maybe a half an inch. If you're lucky, an inch of light, fluffy snow. That wraps up Monday before the morning commute, and then we're left with partly sunny conditions and low 20s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but then we climb into the 30s Thursday and Friday, and we'll essentially be there for the rest of the extended forecast, minus next Saturday. If we get into the 30s by Thursday, that'll be our first above normal high temperature in 21 days. That's what, like 3 weeks?
Wow, yeah. Basically a month. It's 3 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
It's 3 weeks.
Too long.
Too long.
That's almost a month. I mean, that's crazy.
Basically, again, the fact that tomorrow is February 1st, when we were just karate chop, when we were just celebrating New Year's.
Oh, I know.
I mean, we're inching close to more consistent warm temps, though. So I'm all for it.
That TikTok girl who said a button a day to measure how fast time goes, she was onto something.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze, and thank you, Kay, and thank you all for joining us. We'll see you back here for News 3 Now at 10.